Good morning. David and I are up before everybody else, so I thought I'd take a moment here in the quiet to just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing with the changes in our nutrition and a little bit about why we are feeling a little more serious about this topic these days. Um, our oldest, our older kids, they're now 5 and 3. Um, Recently we're given quite a bit of candy and other things, and we usually don't have a ton of that in the house. We have a little bit, and in moderation, I suppose that stuff is okay. but but recently they were given a lot, and I wasn't really paying attention to how much they were eating every day, and and they were getting quite a bit of it without me knowing. And after a couple weeks of that happening, we just really saw a difference in behavior and just their ability to focus on even what we were saying to them, or and trying to do things like school were just kind of impossible. And the only thing that had changed, the only connection there was, he's cuter. The only connection there was the fact that they were getting these high amounts of sugar and dye and other artificial just ingredients. And we've known for a while that those things really do make a difference, and especially in our oldest son, that he's very sensitive to food coloring and sugar. But we really hadn't done too much seriously about it, just kind of kept that in our minds and kind of tried to moderate how much they were getting. But after this, it was so very clear. Even my husband just said, whoa, this is night and day as far as behavior and stuff. So we threw out all the candy, and then I just started really looking at labels and really looking at what we're giving them every day, and how much sugar, the little bits here and there, how much it adds up. And there's so much hidden in so many products. Like looking at even the granola bars that our boys are in the habit of eating every morning when they wake up. Each one, I think, had 8 grams of sugar. And I do usually get the kind that don't have any artificial colors, but still 8 grams of sugar, and sometimes they'll have a second one if we're just still hanging around in the morning and not going anywhere. And so right there, that's 16 grams of sugar before they've had anything else. And so just kind of looking at those things and taking a little closer look and figuring out what we could maybe change up, and just really reading labels. It does mean, for me, it means a lot of homemade things, and just trying to get creative in how we can still have treats and yummy things and not be boring with what we're eating. And so, because of that, and because I don't want to have, have to be the mom that says no to all the fun stuff, I'm really on this new adventure now to find recipes of things that are sugar-free, that don't have all these extra chemicals and ingredients and things, and that are still yummy and good for us. And so I thought that might be a neat thing to add to the blog, that I could start sharing some of these recipes and some blogs that I've found that have been really helpful in kind of just wrapping my mind around exchanging some of these things from our diet. And I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, we'll never, I don't really see us being a family that gets rid of all the junk. Just the way life is. Fast food is still part of our life because it's just really nice for this mama to be able to go through a drive-thru every once in a while, or have Ryan bring home something fast food. We won't be at a place where we say no to all the stuff if, like, we do something fun with grandparents or birthday celebrations or whatever. But we are just going to make sure that those are a very rare special treat instead of just on a daily basis. And then the other thing I wanted to say is, even though we do know that there's a huge connection between how well our kids can control their minds and their bodies and behavioral issues, and what they're eating and putting in their body, we strive to make sure that our kids don't ever have excuses for their bad behavior. So I'm not about to set up this way of life where they think that they don't have to be responsible if the reason why they're having a hard time is because they've been given a bunch of crap in their food. Um, you know, we're teaching them to try to have control in the best way possible and in their classes and when it's time to be quiet, to sit still and be quiet, and all those lessons that all of us parents are striving to learn, to teach our kids. But I do know that if we know that these things, these ingredients and things affect them in this way, it's really unfair to just pile that on them and then expect them to be able to perform at their best, to think at their best. And so we're just going to do our best to get rid of these things and kind of get rid of these obstacles so that they can think clearly, that they can learn important lessons for life and be responsible for their actions and for their behavior. Right? So, anyways, I just wanted to let you know that's why we're going to look at things like this, and I hope you'll come back and check on what we do here on the blog. I'm hoping to start posting a lot more regularly as we get our schedule kind of back into gear here now with the baby. But I want to post recipes and fun things that we're doing and things I'm learning about nutrition and all of that. And so if you've been on that kind of journey before with your kids, then I hope that you will share some insights that you've learned or some recipes that have been fun and successful at your house. And then if you're wanting to look into it for your family and maybe never have, that you can kind of check it out with us and come along for the journey. And so thanks for listening. Bye-bye.